Hey guys, it's Zoe, and today I'm going to be doing a story time video of my first experience at NCA. So as you can tell by the title, it didn't go exactly as planned, but it was still really fun. And yeah, so let's get started. Disclaimer for this video, I'm not very sick, I'm just sick. I'm not super sick, but my nose is all stuffy and my ears are all plugged up, so if I sound a little bit weird, that's why. So let's get on to the story time. Okay, so let's start off with saying this NCA was from this year. It was my first time at NCA. I was so excited. It was the week after cheer sport. So yeah, I was already pretty tired from cheer sport. But yeah, so we went up to NCA. We went to Dallas, and it was really fun. Dallas was a lot different than I expected it to be. Like, that part of Dallas was different. I thought it was going to be, like, for some reason I just thought Dallas would be, like, really high class, but it was, like, some parts of it were, and then other parts weren't. It was different. But, yeah. And then, of course, me and a couple of my friends did, like, the touristy thing where we sat on the bulls, like. So, yeah, the first day, we came the day before. I did get a little tired from that, but other than that, that was just the first day. And then the second day is where things get interesting. So the second day, I woke up not feeling my best. It didn't help that I had to wake up super early because my team went on really early. So I had to wake up at 5, I believe. And so yeah, immediately when I woke up, I wasn't feeling 100% great. Like, I couldn't really breathe all that well, which is weird. And so I didn't really know what was going on at that point in time. So yeah, I get all ready and I go there. So yeah, I went there, and it was all pretty stressful, and I wasn't feeling good. My stomach felt horrible. Like, I honestly felt so bad, and I just felt so sick, and I didn't know what was going on. And yeah, so that we'll separate from our parents pretty early before that we have to start stretching or whatever. We'll go and separate so that we have, like, time to regroup and everything. So we were there just, like, sitting, just resting, getting ready to start stretching, and I felt horrible. And when I was in a bad mood, I try to keep it professional, but it's hard sometimes, especially when I'm feeling really bad. It's kind of obvious to the team because the team I was on, I was one of the leaders because I was one of the oldest ones there. So even the coaches could kind of tell something was off, and I was just, like, sitting on the side, sitting against the wall, just trying to breathe and trying to calm down. And, my Coach Ben, he was like, "Are you okay, Zoe?" I was like, "My stomach just hurts really bad." Like, I couldn't even lie and say, "Yeah, I'm fine," because I was just in so much pain. But yeah, so that happened. I led the stretches every day, and it was kind of bad luck if I didn't. So I had to lead the stretches, feeling awful. But I led the stretches, it was fine. But by the time we did our mini markers, where we just, like, went through the routine, and after we stretched and everything, we were just kind of, like, buying time until warm-ups, I legitimately kept on, like, spotting the trash cans because I felt like I was gonna be sick. So, yeah, that was not fun. And so we go to warm-ups, and it doesn't help. I'm really nervous. So we walk down to warm-ups, and I was trying to breathe. I was trying to contain myself, and it was pretty difficult. But yeah, we got into warm-ups, and in Dallas, it's so intimidating because you go into these warm-ups, and it's this giant, almost empty room, and you felt like I was going to be sick, and all of the nearest trash cans were bordering the room, like, back on the other side, and it was a really long way. If you have been to Dallas, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, before you go to warm-ups, the only trash cans are, like, way over there. So I was just like, I can make it. If I know I have to throw up, I can, like, run over there, and, like, I can make it. Because I'm not gonna throw up on the floor. Like, that's something I can't do. So yeah, anyway, I didn't throw up then. I was trying to breathe. I was trying to walk and breathe it out. And then we go into warm-ups. and all warm-ups I feel like death. I don't even know what's going on. It's so, like, I just feel so drowsy, but I'm fine. I make it through warm-ups. I'm like, okay, if I can make it through warm-ups, I can just wait till the performance is over and then I'll feel better and I'll be fine. But I'm just like, I'm breathing really hard because I don't know why. I just can't really breathe that well for some reason. And so we finished warm-ups and we're walking and we're behind the space. Luckily for me, thank goodness, Dallas, NCA decided to not only put a trash can right before the walkout, but they also put water by there. Thank goodness that they did, because we came back to the warm-ups and everybody was fine. Everybody was talking, doing their pep talks. It was fine. That was talking to us and everything. And then our coaches leave and it's just our team. This is 3 minutes before we go on, like very, very soon, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, about 2 routines. Yeah, a good 2 routines. So for one routine, I made it. I was good. Like, I got through the first routine in front of us. But at this point, I just could not hold it in anymore. Like, I felt horrible. This was one team before we had to go on stage. Like, so 2 minutes, because their routine had already been in progress. And I could not hold it anymore. My team was already behind, like, the slope to already get on the floor. Like, they were already right behind because we were, like, the next team in line. And so I just couldn't hold it anymore. I go and run towards the trash can. And I start throwing up all the breakfast I had. And then all my team is, like, so disheveled. They're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, this is so crazy. The coaches are gone. There's nobody there to, like, control us. Because we're all just going crazy. And I'm throwing up over here. My best friend, Ansley, she's having a panic attack in the corner because she busted her tuck in warm-ups. So she is bawling over there. I'm throwing up in the trash can. All the little ones are going crazy because 2 of the main leaders of the team were just, like, not helping. And our parents are right outside the curtain. There's one curtain, and so one of our teammates yells out into the parents, "Zoe's throwing up." So my mom comes, and so I'm throwing up into the trash can. Like, the little ones are asking, "Are you okay?" And yeah, and then all the poor NCA staff is like, "What do we do now?" But then I just, like, I threw up. I felt a little bit better after that. I drank the water that was by. Thank goodness there was water. And then I went over to my mom and my mom's friend, also the team mom, Miss Stacy, and luckily Miss Stacy had wipes, so I wiped my hands off, like, I got all clean or whatever, like, wiped my mouth off, it was all good. And my mom was, like, freaking out way worse than I was. I was like, Mom, I'm fine. I felt a little bit better. I still didn't feel good, but I threw up, I was fine. And then luckily, Ansley's sister, Gracie, she's one of the best leaders at the whole gym. She came in because the coaches were already by their spots. The coaches have no idea any of this is taking place, by the way. So luckily, the parents get Gracie in, and Gracie runs in because she's an athlete, so she's allowed to get back here. So she runs back and she's like corrals us. She's like, "Girls, you can do this." Like, this, like, amazing pep talk, and I'm so ready to go out there, perform, and be done, and, like, rest. So she calms like, Gracie calms Ansley down, and she's like, "You got this, Zoe. Like, you can do this. You gotta push." And so and I was okay. I was ready to go fight for my team. I was like, "Guys, don't worry about me. I'm fine. Let's go out and kill it." So we get on the floor, and I think we had some mistakes. I don't remember exactly what the mistakes were at this point. It was all a blur. But I do remember that I have this one moment where, in running tumbling, I don't running tumble. I'm on the side of the floor, and normally I do my own, like, little motion thing. I'll point at the crowd or something. And just to, like, show my mom I was okay, I dropped. And I was like, "I'm fine," kind of. And so yeah, that was the only thing I really remember from that performance. I think all of my stunts hit, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, all of my stunts hit. I think there was another think there was an issue with something else in the routine. But yeah, so yeah, so that happened, and we walk off, and you could tell when we were walking on, our team was still a little bit like nervous, like disheveled and like crazy. And so the coaches are walking off, and they're like, so that wasn't your best performance. Like, I have no idea what, like, Ben was kind of like, what is going on with this team? Like, they were fine right before we left. And then I don't even know if he like figured out for certain that day. I think he figured out the next day, but I don't think that day that he found out that I threw up right before we went on stage. I still don't think he figured out about Ansley, like, at all, because it wasn't, like, she just had a panic attack. But it was really interesting. So I come off, and Mom's like, are you okay? I saw you drop. I figured you were okay. I was like, that was the point. Yeah, and then we just had the rest of the day to just rest and relax, and I wanted to make sure I tried my best to do, like, all I could for the team. So I just tried to, like, rest and stay off of it for the next day. And we ended up in 5th place from day 1 because of the issues that we had. Yeah, the next day happens, and I go and I wake up for the next day, day 2. And again, I feel horrible. But this time, my throat was sore, and I felt like I couldn't, like, that's kind of like the reason why I couldn't really breathe the day before, was because it was starting to close up, and my throat was like getting worse. And but yeah, I just felt horrible. So I ate a little bit of breakfast, not as much as I did the day before, and then I threw up in the room. I threw up in the room again, and I was like, not again. I hate throwing up. Like, honestly, I hate throwing up. Like, I will do anything not to throw up, but I just couldn't, like, hold it, and it was just so bad. And oh goodness, I hate throwing up. It's the worst. And then so yeah, and then after that, luckily, I made it through the rest of the day 2 without throwing up again. But when I arrived, everybody was like, try not to throw up today. I was like, too late. I already did in my room. So yeah, and then Ben was like in front of us. He was like, oh goodness. Yeah, it was, and then, so we did warm-ups, and it still feels like death. I still feel like I'm going to throw up, but this time, luckily, I didn't. I was like praying so hard. I was like, Lord, please help me not to throw up. So yeah, I made it through the entire performance without throwing up, and I was like, oh, thank goodness, I'm done. Like, I felt horrible afterwards, but I made it through, pushed, I persevered, and yeah, it was pretty crazy, and yeah, that wasn't the best. Little flyer Hawaii. Poor Hawaii, she took a sip of my drink because she didn't really, I don't think she remembered that I was sick at all, but she took a sip of my drink. Later on, I found out that I had strep throat the entire time, because the next day I woke up, I couldn't swallow, I couldn't eat, like, eating tomato soup hurt, so it was really bad. So I had full-on strep at the time that she took the drink, and poor Hawaii, she got strep too after me. I felt so bad. I was like, but she took a sip of my drink without asking me, like, so yeah, that happened. But I ended up being sick because I was legitimately sick, not just because of nerves or whatever. So yeah, that happened. That's the only time I've really been fully sick out of competition, and it just so happened to be the first NCA that I ever went to. Yeah, the second day we did better. We still had, I think, one issue, I believe, but we ended up raising 2 spots, and we got 3rd place with best choreography, and that was pretty cool, and we got, you know, better things, and it was fun. Honestly, it was really fun. And so, yeah, that was my story time of my first NCA where I was really sick. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I just felt like telling the story because I'm really into watching story times recently, and I wanted to share one of the most eventful competitions I've ever been to. So yeah, I just had an idea about filming a hair tutorial, so of how to get really long hair into a cheer ponytail, because I know it's really difficult for some people. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be making that. And yeah, so if you liked this video, you can give it a thumbs up, or you can comment below different video ideas for me to do. And yeah, that's it. My Instagram and my Twitter are down in the description box below. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and bye!